And just to introduce our team, Trevor, Jim, and Sandeep, a good mix of data science, credit operations, and technologists, right? And this is our presentation. To start with the problem statement. So obviously the overall use case was in the CFPB supplied documents, and we looked at the whole process and selected a couple of sub-use cases to solve for, and that's what I'm going to go with, right? And to start with, I'm going to show you a couple of artifacts as it stands today to get you a feel of where the things are today, the way we see, and what we're going to go to with our proposed solution, right? This is the current adverse action letter. This is a real one, right, with names blacked out. And what you see is the couple of things stand out to us as a team, which we thought of solving. The first one is the reasons for our decision, the adverse action reasons, are not specific enough, right? From a customer point of view and from a transparency point of view. So they are very generic reasons derived from our decision engine. And the second use case we're trying to solve with technology here is that this is like the terminal node for the customer, right? You get the letter on declination and you stop. There is no downstream process for the customer or for the consumer, and there is no call to action, which will increase the consumer satisfaction and increase the transparency with respect to this process, right? So this is as the letter stands today, right, in our operations. And this one is we have been using this for 30-year-old. It's an old 30-year-old consumer dispute artifact, right? Which has to be, this is a real one we did in 2019, and which is being filled out to dispute any of the reasons or any errors in the report per se, right? So these two slides gives you a visual sense of the way things are today. This one.
Yeah, Cindy, real quick, just to jump in, like that yellow letter, like my first credit and lending job back in like 1992, like my job was to open the mail and look at these letters and, try and resolve them for the company I work for. Like, this hasn't changed since like 1992. This is a relic of how this whole process was set up originally. And that's one of the things that we're really looking to tackle in our solution set. Thanks, Cindy.
Yeah, thanks, Jim. Yeah, I mean, that's the whole point of these two artifacts, right? Now, I want to give a sense to the panel, the specific problems we're addressing and what is the construct behind our solution. And the first one is our hypothesis there is room for improvement to make the adverse action to be more specific and transparent for the consumer in question. And that becomes the linchpin on which a downstream value can be realized, right? And what we're proposing is to use cutting-edge machine learning-based explainability technology, which can be used to improve transparency and specificity from a consumer point of view to know the reasons behind the declination, right? And the second one is, as you know, the letter is, for most of the times, is the terminal node for the consumer. And the consumer have no visibility into relevant data on a real-time basis from an experience point of view behind the decisions, whether the report, the details in the report or the financials, whatever is used for that declination. And there's no formalized process for disputing in a very streamlined, customer-centric manner. And our solution construct, which we will demo in the subsequent slides, is to deploy robotic process automation, which can empower small business owners or consumers. We have built for small business owners because that's what we do as Fundation, but it is actually product line agnostic to view the details behind the data, right? And there is a digital empowerment for the consumers to review, dispute on almost real-time fashion on their reports, on their data behind the decision, right? Moving on, this is our solution, right? The basic process here is there's a credit algorithm, right? One of the option values of the solution is, because we'll be using the explainable tech, it will empower adoption of advanced machine learning based models in credit algorithms, right? Because that's one of the side values. So when a credit request is declined, there will be a digital adverse action letter, right? And specific adverse action reasons can be powered by advanced explainable algorithms. I mean, we have used SHAP and LIME, advanced algorithms to explain at a local level, because most of the algorithms are at a global level. Given the consumer in question, this is an example of a different algorithm, just to show you how this is based on the SHAP algorithm, that in this case, we can choose the specific reasons. Obviously, this is more at a model level, but specific reasons can be derived, right? Running a surrogate model like SHAP or LIME in conjunction with a machine learning credit algorithm, right? So I want to stress that specificity is at the quarterback, at the center of the solution. Once you have that, then we are doing a chatbot-driven engagement, so that it engages the customer towards a specific outcome and to be made, the choices made by the customer. And finally, the customer takes an action beyond looking at the letter, whether it is to look at the report or take a specific action to dispute or understand, whatever it may be, right? I mean, the end result is customer walks away with more transparency and satisfaction, right? Moving on, this is the process I want to give you a sense of, right? We are proposing a process-driven digital solution, right? What that means is, I'm going to spend some time here. And what that means is, you can see, once you click that, this is the new letter we have designed. We're taking the output from the explainability tech, right? Now the reasons are much more specific. Like I'll focus on one. The cash flow from your bank statements do not support the required debt payments, right? From a generic. But it doesn't end here, right? You can click here, right, to look at your bank statement. This is obviously a demo of fake statements, right? And the person can look at the deposits here, the checks, ATM purchases, right? If he has any doubt, he can call a loan specialist in our operations to understand, right? And similarly, one of the things I want to stress on is commercial reports. You can go there. And a lot of the small business don't even know there is commercial reporting used for decisioning, right? You can go to the commercial reporting in question and can go through a process of ordering a commercial report or seeing the commercial report in question. And similarly, for a consumer report, right, depending on if the decisioning is based on that, the consumer can click on that real time, right, and go to the report and get a report where he or she can dispute if he or she feels that the report is erroneous in their sense, right? Now, so coming back to the process back here, so we have the underlying process design. Now we're going to improve the engagement, right? And so we're going to use RPA, like I said, and this will lead to a customer-centric solution, right? And the way that happens is, this is a very quick video to demonstrate a chatbot-driven engagement. The same process I showed you, but it is more chatbot-driven now. And Trevor, you can help our...
Sure. So what we're doing is we're enabling technology to essentially engage the customer or the business owner through uses of chatbots using NLP and intent. We're giving them options to take actions downstream. So very simple case, we're not really capturing any PIA just for the demo purposes, but of course there would be a conversation that would happen within the chat that would lead to a downstream RPA process. So we're picking up from a selection that they've made in the chat, and I think we need to press play a little bit more.
Yeah.
And we're giving the same actions. We're giving the same 3 actions within the email, but now we're able to enable that through technology to actually do something with it. So they've selected a particular action. The chatbot is handing off that action to a back-end RPA process that's actually taking the information obtained either through the email or if there's some subsequent information that they need to inquire with the user, they can do that through the chat and then actually go into things like Experian and perform the actions and make that a much more efficient process for them.
We're at 10 minutes with 1 question in the queue.
And I'll just play this out so the panel can see how the experience will look like. In this case, through a chatbot, we can go to the same process, and this can be pre-populated from the previous data which has been collected, and you can go to the whole layers of either looking at the report, disputing the report, and whatnot, right? So overall point line is the design principle here is a real-time customer engagement from the adverse action letter, which is much more specific and transparent, leading to a customer choice-driven outcome to understand or dispute whatever the case may be. So we'll stop here to allow time for any Q&A.